Well, hey there, and how are you today? My name is Carla. I am an adult doll collector, and you are in my hangout. And today we are at the beach at our cabanas. And I am so excited to share this project with you. We will be making this one today. This one was my prototype, and this one is also a prototype. But I've included them so you can see some of the different color combinations. This project was inspired by a cruise I took to the Bahamas, and I think I left my heart in the Bahamas, or on the cruise ship in the Bahamas. It's there somewhere because I miss it terribly. It was gorgeous, it was beautiful, it was so relaxing, but you know, life is life. So anyway, because I was inspired by what I saw there, I thought I'd bring my vision and how I felt about the place here for you guys to enjoy. And so this is meant to be a very simple project. I want this project to be something that you can do in a day, easily, in a part of a day. All you need is foam board, a cutting implement, some kind of glue, and paint. That's really all you need. I intentionally nothing is layered, there's no wood, there is nothing fancy in these builds this time. I wanted them to just be fun, fast, and easy, ready for summer. Because summer's supposed to be, well, I think we should relax and enjoy it a bit. I don't have the plan on my blog because it's really large and I couldn't figure out how to do that, but I will be giving you the measurements. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you have fun making this, and I'll see you on the other side. So as you can see, I have already cut out the windows and the door, but I'm going to show you the measurements. So at the bottom, from here to here, you want it to be 25.5 centimeters or 10 inches. You're going to cut up from bottom to top. You want it to be 13 inches or 32 centimeters. I cut down 2.5 centimeters from the top to where the top of the window is, or 1 inch. And then from down here, and then the window itself is 6 by 6 by 6 inches, or 15.5 by 15.5 centimeters. The distance between the window and the first bend is 5 centimeters or 2 inches. And it's the same thing on over here. The window is 2 inches or 5 centimeters from the edge. The door itself, I cut, is measured 1 inch in or 2.5 centimeters on both sides. And the door height was 12 inches or 30 centimeters. And that's how tall it is. And then it is 6 inches or 15.5 centimeters across. And again, the distance from the top, from the roof to the top of the door is 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. This point is 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters high. And it is, I have an extra one, and it is 21.5 centimeters across. And you wanted to do this. And so what I did was, after I cut all this out, I just laid this out on top of some foam board and I drew around it and cut my next piece. So, but as you can see, mine is a little longer than where these cuts are, and that's how you want it. That way when it folds, it will look correct. So these are the measurements you want. You're going to want 10 long foam board strips. These measure 1 centimeter across, and I think they are, and they're 32 centimeters long. And you want 10 of these. Rest we will be cutting down as we go. And that is for the actual structure. I saved the cutouts from the windows and door because you'll need those. So on the door, I did draw a line that's in the middle, right down the middle of the door, because you'll need this as well. This is the floor for this little structure. The floor is 25.5 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And I do prefer to work in centimeters because I find I can be more precise than I can with inches. Those are the measurements. What we're going to use, we're going to be using pretty much only foam board to make this. So we need foam board. I'm using this 3-in-1 glue because I prefer it. It gives me more time to let things set, but it's still faster than ordinary glue. Another thing I use to kind of make sure things set is I use these pins. I use pins in places to kind of make sure that things will continue to remain in place. So another thing you're going to want to make sure you use is some paint. Now I'm going to be using, for this build, I'm going to be going with this parakeet green, and I will be coating it afterward with this polyurethane water-based semi-gloss to make it shiny, because I like things to have a little gleam to them. Whatever color you think you're going to want to use is just fine. The bungalows that I saw were all very vibrant colors, and even though some of my builds have been just like the orange one was just orange and white, but I'll tell you, these people, they went with contrasting colors or whatever. So this is the kind of thing where you can have fun with the colors and it's going to look right. This is a simple build. All you're going to need is the foam board and the glue, and you don't need a whole lot of other things for this. So on that note, let's get started. So first of all, we are going to draw out our siding. Instead of putting siding on, we're going to kind of do a different method. Once again, to keep you from having to use much of anything. So I'm going to measure this up at, I think, what was the one over here? Okay. So I'm going to measure every 2 centimeters all the way to the top. And I'm just going to make a dot every 2 centimeters. And once the dots are all there, I'm just going to draw the lines connecting them all the way to the top. As you can see, I also extended the lines to this side. I've done the same thing over here, and I'm going to do that over on this side as well. going to do is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut gently, just enough to break the paper, but not enough to make it so you can do a bend and snap. So I'm just going to very carefully, just a very light cut. And I'm going to do that across all of my lines. So we have all of these cut. I almost forgot a spot though, and that is we want to do our bend and snap cuts. So when you, on this part here, this line that you've drawn, you do want to cut deep enough to make so it will do the bend and snap. You want to do that on both sides. All right. So once you get everything cut, I'm going to use a dotting tool, but you can also use a butter knife or whatever you might have that can. We just want to widen these cuts a little bit. So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to kind of drag it along, just barely inside that, just enough to add some dimension. And I'm going to do that to all of my lines. And I'll show you, so with a butter knife, which by the way, I keep a butter knife in my work area at all times. So butter knife will also make a decent effect. So if you don't have a dotting tool, the butter knife is just fine to use as well. This is just easier for me to work with, so I'm going to continue to use this. But if you don't, the other one will work just fine. I'm going to do this on all of my drawn lines that are going across this way. I will not. Next thing I'm going to do, you can skip this part if you really don't want to do it, but I always add some gesso. So I'm going to add a coat of gesso to this whole thing. So, and I actually like to pour my paint into a little tub to work with it. I have some left over from my last project, so I don't need to add very much into this tub. Have it all coated, and I buy these. You can get them at I got mine I think I got them at Walmart. Anyway, you know, just these little tubs with a lid. That way, if you have extra, you just cover it and you can use it again. Now, while this is drying, I'm going to have this sitting up so it's in its shape. That way, the paint doesn't cause it to dry weird. While that's drying, we can make the doors. So I have this long Okay, we're going on these doors, we're not even going to try to put plastic on. I mean, these are going to be really simple doors. All right. So on this door, what I'm going to do is, there we go, locate my pen. And I'm going to, first of all, measure down 1 centimeter. I use 1 centimeter as a measurement for a lot of my stuff. So if you remember that, if you don't even catch what I said for measurement, you can guess that that was the measurement. Okay. So I know I want this down 1 centimeter. I'm going to draw my line. And then I'm going to go 1 centimeter, and I'm going to do a few lines all the way down. Use as many as you need. I like to have a few to guide me. Then I will connect the dots, which isn't it handy? We were all taught that in kindergarten. Yay! And draw that line down. Then I'm going to measure in 1 centimeter on the other side as well. Basically, just the same thing. And we'll be doing both doors exactly the same. And then we poke out all the things. And you have a handy dandy, not fancy at all door. But we're not going to be, this isn't going to be closed as a door or anything. It's just going to kind of suggest a door. Like I said, this is supposed to be a nice, fun, fairly fast project. And now, I'm cheating. Because normally I would measure out for both doors, you know, to have ultimate precision, but I'm not too fussed for this. So no, so I'm placing this door right over the other one, and I am going to draw out the cutouts. Now, if you want to measure yours to make sure they're all nice and precise, obviously, you know, go for that, you know. But this is how I'm doing this. And then cut them out again. All right, and here are the doors. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And while that is drying, this is the roof piece. And we're going to make it look like it has some texture. Now, you can do this at any width that you want. You know, it depends. I'm going to use the width of this, but it could be anything. This part is not arbitrary how you set it up, because it will still be the same size and, you know, everything. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to draw some lines down, and I'm just going to go all the way over, because I just want something that's the same size. So whatever you find that will make it so everything is the same length, that's what I encourage you to use. Once you have all your lines drawn, you're going to take your handy dandy X-Acto knife, and you're going to very gently score along each line. You just want to kind of cut into the paper, but you do not want to cut through. So just kind of lightly. So it just barely cuts through it. And do that all the way down. And do that all the way across. Okay, once you have everything, so it's all kind of, you know, scored along there. Now I'm going to use one of these, but you can use anything that you want. I just want to widen them up a little bit. You could also use a butter knife to widen it up a bit if you want to. Like I have one here. You just kind of want to go down along behind it and just kind of, so it's just a little wider, okay? And I'm going to use this tool for what I'm doing. And you don't need to push really hard. I'm just doing it so it gives a little definition in here. done, it should be, well, pretty much like this. Okay, so the effect is subtle, but I mean, if you wanted to, you wouldn't even have to paint this if you didn't want to. You could leave it just white. So, which I probably will, just erase all the numbers and leave it. Now, I don't know what it's like where you are, but for me, it's very warm today, and the gesso is just about dry, so I'm going to get some paint. Be right back. All right. I'm just going to paint. This will take 2 coats of paint I have been finding. So you've got to wait in between the coats of paint on things, but that's okay. We have another project for you to do while the paint is drying. And I'm just going to paint the whole thing. And I'm going to stand it up again and let it dry. All right, so here it is with 2 coats and a coat of, and I also did 1 coat of this on there, and I let it dry, you know, and so it's ready. I did get a splotch of pink. I was working on another project, and so the other project is that shade of pink right there. I'm not too worried about it because we're going to be covering it up. Let's get the floor in. So I have my floor, and the floor is 20 centimeters by 25.5 centimeters. And of course my handy dandy glue is the 3-in-1, you know, glue. Okay, now we're going to take these and the long ones, and we're going to start gluing these on to the edges. So now this one on the very far edge, I want it to be so it comes out and it's even with this. And this I'm going to put here so it covers that gap and it meets with the other one. Okay, so all those are on. Now I'm going to put the doors on. And the doors, and I'm going to glue it right into here. So this, this part should be flush with that. Now I have 4 of these. They are 1 centimeter wide and 17.5 centimeters long. Then I have 4 of these that are 1 centimeter wide and 15 centimeters long. And we're going to trim the window with these. Now I'm going to glue this on. I should have painted it, but I'll paint it later. I'm not too worried about it. We're going to take 2 more of these. I cut out 2 more of these, 1 centimeter by, you know, the long ones. And I'm going to glue that on these ends here because it looks a little sloppy here. Just going to glue that into place as well. Now, here's one of the window cutouts. I'm just going to put it in here because I know it's here, and I'm just going to try to figure out just how far out I want a little, I don't know, like a little place to be. Okay, so let's make an even 3 centimeters. Okay, and I want 2 of them, 1 for each window. We are going to add some trim up on here. All right, we are almost done. Now I have cut 4 of these, and these are also 6 inches long, 6 inches by here on the centimeters, so 2.5 centimeters by 15 centimeters, give or take. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just a very slender line on the outside, and for this, and it doesn't, as long as it's a slender line, you can make that measurement any way you want it. So I'm just doing this, and I'm not drawing all the way to the edge. And I'm using this part as my guide. So bringing this all the way down until all those little lines are kind of like at the end there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this along here, and at every ½ centimeter, I'm going to make a dot or a line. I'm going to mark it every ½ centimeter. You can make yours at any distance you want. This is just the measurement I went with. And then I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw lines across from where it's marked. So here, here, and I'm going to do it all the way down. I'm not going to be over worried about absolute precision on this. I mean, you probably try to be precise, but I'm not being overly worried about that. The idea of this project is to be something that's kind of a little simpler, that you don't have to have all kinds of extra material on hand to make. So I'm probably not showing you anything that you haven't seen done millions of times. I don't think I'm showing you any kind of new techniques or anything, right? But that's okay, right? I just want some fun little buildings, colorful buildings for my dolls to remind me of when I went to the Bahamas. I took that cruise back in March, and I think my heart is still stuck in the Bahamas. I just fell in love with the colors there, and some of the little houses that I saw along the beaches. It just inspired me to make these for my dolls, and I've been waiting to do these, by the way, but I would just, yeah. So that's why the vibrant colors and have fun with your combinations. So yeah, this is meant to be New England. They would all be one color with white trim or something, but this is gonna be, I want my colors to be a little bit more tropical. We're gonna have some fun with color. Well, I'm gonna have some fun with color. I hope you do too. I'm going to take the handy dandy X-Acto knife, and I'm going to very gently, just ever so slightly, make a cut, just like I did to make the boards on the houses and along the roof. We're doing this right from here, and we're just cutting along the line. We don't need to cut into here, just along this line. I'm going to do that all the way down, and I'm going to make 4 of these. Once everything is cut down all the way, I'm just going to widen them up a little bit, each one. Again, using my dotting tool, and again, if you don't have a dotting tool, a butter knife will work. Once you have all these made, we're going to put them on the building here. this point, you can also put the roof on. And the roof, I like to pull the front a little more forward with the back a little narrower. But you can place the roof any way you want to. But as you can see, it fits along there nice and neat. So I'm going to put my roof on now. You see, by putting these on here, that helps. And now at this point, you can be done. If you want to consider yourself done, you can be done. Now I see a couple little details that I'm not keen on, like I don't like this part in here, so I'm going to add, I want to put a little bit of foam board in there. So I've cut 4 pieces. They're meant to measure along like this. Okay, so right, so I have 4 cut, and I'm going to put 1 in each of the windows here. I think I'm going to go with a light foamy green for contrasting color for this, just because. All right, so I'm going to start with painting the shutter. Okay, I'm also going to paint this doohickey thing that I wanted on the windows for no particularly logical reason, just I like the idea of them there. I guess I envision the dolls kind of like maybe talking to each other, putting their elbows up on them and talking to someone from another bungalow, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave the trim like that. I think, but I like it with that little soft green on there. I think that's just enough. Now, I'm not too worried about the inside of this, because inside is going to be taken care of on another day for a different video. But yeah, I like it. Well, that's the end of this video, and I thank you for joining me while we got to make a cute little cabana. I hope the directions are pretty clear, and as I've said before, if there's any way that you can share what you've made with me, I would love to see how you guys, how you've translated into something of your very own. So I know these are very basic, but that was kind of the point. So yeah, but yeah, I think they're cute. I think they're fun for summer, and I'm going to be enjoying my little Barbie beach. So now, if you like this video, please hit like. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much for being a subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber, well, what are you waiting for? I have a subscribe button. It's red. It says subscribe. It's on this side, and all you have to do is just boop, and then you're a subscriber. And I love my subscribers. My subscribers are the best people in the whole wide world. I can't help it. It just happens to be true. There's nothing I can do about it. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of things. If you take the time to comment, I will take the time to answer. Especially if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer questions. And and we'll be decorating the insides of these in another video. So that's why they're left plain for now, because I have plans for them, because I want to make them unique for each person, right? So anyway, sharing is caring. Yeah, go ahead and share this video. You never know who might be looking for a fairly easy and cute summer build. And gosh, on that note, I think that's about it. Now, no matter what time of day it is, whether it's morning, noon, or night, I do hope it's fantastic, because yes, you guessed it, you deserve fantastic things. And I'm out of here, so goodbye.